Today is a very important day, and I know what you guys might be thinking, Mike, what's so special about March 2nd? Well, as of today, all the players that are currently on their teams can no longer be cut. The buyout market has been set. No one else could be bought out anymore. So if you are on a roster from today and on, you're on the roster for the rest of the year, which is great for players that were typically on the bubble, whether they were going to get cut or not. But it's a little unfortunate for players such as Troy Daniels that recently got released. So if you guys haven't heard, the Los Angeles Lakers cut Troy Daniels, and when you cut somebody at this time of year, you're typically expected to bring someone else in to help bolster your team. And that's exactly what the Los Angeles Lakers plan on doing. So what's going on, guys? Your boy, Theflightmike, back again with some more NBA news. Guys, I have some pretty bad news. Looks like I have to ride with 2 strikes on this channel. Swish Cultures hasn't really gotten back to me on Instagram. If you guys want to go and pester him on his Instagram saying answer the Flight Mike on a couple of his posts, then I fully support that. I really don't know what to do anymore. The guy's a busy guy, and maybe he just doesn't like me or what I did. But I don't expect anything from you guys. I posted additional content onto my backup channel, Theflightmike TV. So after this video, go ahead and check out my first video on the Theflightmike TV. The content that I'm going to be uploading there is going to be exclusive to that channel, and hopefully I never have to use it as my main channel. And of course, if you're new to this channel and you watch a lot of the news videos here, make sure you take a moment to subscribe, because I have been bringing you guys daily NBA news for the past 7 months. Now let's get to this video, because the Lakers are in the midst of making a very peculiar decision. But you have to understand, the construction of the Los Angeles Lakers of this year has been very peculiar. And what I mean by peculiar is, according to multiple reports, the Los Angeles Lakers are set to work out 2 players that used to be LeBron James's teammates. Although one has had a little bit more success with LeBron James than the other. One of those players is, of course, J.R. Smith. Now, if you guys didn't know, J.R. Smith has been absolutely in his bag trying to prepare for a potential Lakers comeback. And this is cited by multiple sources that the Lakers are going to be bringing him in for a tryout. Now, bear in mind, J.R. Smith hasn't played in the NBA since November of 2018. And the last time he played, he was very pissed off that the Cleveland Cavaliers were tanking and accused his own team of tanking, which, with all due respect, they kind of were tanking. Once you lose LeBron James, every time LeBron James leaves a team, that team clearly is not going to be as good as they used to be. But it's crazy, because if you look at the history of LeBron James leaving a team, that team typically goes from the top 2 in the Eastern Conference to literally the top 2 or the top 3 in competing for lottery balls. I think the only exception was when he left the Miami Heat. I think the Miami Heat were at least making it to the playoffs, but they still had Wade and Bosh for that year. But I don't exactly remember, so don't quote me on that. Now, at the time of this video, J.R. Smith is 34 years old. He's ranked 13th in NBA history for most 3-point attempts. And he's been able to convert 37% of those 3-point shots, but to be honest, the last time he was in the NBA, he was only able to convert on 31% of those looks, which isn't really the best percentage. But you have to understand, when you're next to LeBron James and you're next to Anthony Davis, chances are you're going to get a lot of wide open 3-pointers. So the most important part for J.R. Smith, the most important skill to show off to the Los Angeles Lakers, is his ability to sink deep threes. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, you have a player whose stock is taking a tumble, mainly because of locker room issues. And don't get me wrong, J.R. Smith isn't known for being a stable personality at all whatsoever, but you have Dion Waiters, the guy that got in trouble for, ingesting THC gummies on an airplane and started to freak out, which, can I take a moment to make a tangent here? Guys, if you don't typically ingest THC gummies, or if you don't ingest THC, never take them on an airplane. You will, there's a good chance that you're going to think that you're going to die. That's happened to many of my friends, people that aren't experienced in ingesting this stuff. don't take it on an airplane if it's like your first time. You will want to die. Like literally, it will drive you nuts. You'll think you're in this confined space. All right, I digress, but still, don't do it. Now, Dion Waiters has been getting into some trouble after building up his reputation a little bit. He's 28 years old, and he's had some good seasons for the Miami Heat from 2016 up until 2018. He's been doing pretty well, but the last 2 years, he's been taking a little bit of a tumble. Last year, his minutes per game went down to a 25.9. As a result, he went from averaging about 16 points per game to 12 points per game. He was doing really well in his first season, and I had to attribute that to the culture that the Miami Heat created with, their diets and making sure that everyone on their roster is in world-class shape and, strength in numbers. Dion Waiters really had the opportunity to succeed, but unfortunately, this past year saw him just make some poor decisions and really be a cancer to the team's dynamic, and that's the reason why he was cut. Of course, you could say that he was cut just so they could bring on Andre Iguodala, but for the most part, any player that isn't going to contribute to a team's culture is typically going to get cut, especially when you're the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat 100% depend upon the culture that they have created in order to win games. You have Jimmy Butler, you have players like Duncan Robinson, and you have a bunch of players that would typically be considered as role players on any other roster. And at the same time, you have a team that is competing for the top half of the Eastern Conference playoffs. They're a likely 2 to 5 seed. You don't want a distraction such as Dion Waiters, which brings me to my next question. Why are the Lakers only considering Dion Waiters and J.R. Smith if they're known for having volatile personalities? Why would you even consider Dion Waiters, considering the reason why he got cut? He hasn't really been performing up to par this year. He's only played in 3 games, and in those 3 games, he's been averaging like 9 points. Yeah, 47% from 3, but 3 games. 39% from the field. He is a high volume, low efficiency scorer. So I guess the pro and the reason why the Lakers are considering Dion Waiters, and again, Dion Waiters is a completely different type of player than J.R. Smith in the sense that Dion Waiters could come off of the bench, and he has come off of the bench before, and provide scoring when LeBron James isn't on the court. And I guess that's what the Lakers really want, because the number one issue the Lakers are facing, and this is something that the Lakers have that the Clippers do not, is when LeBron James hits the bench, they don't have anyone that could take over the scoring load. Yeah, you have Rajon Rondo that can make some plays, but in a playoff series, I'm not going to be so confident in that. So here's the thing. The Clippers have Lou Williams, right? If Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are not playing and you only have Lou Williams in, you could count on him to get you buckets. He's an experienced veteran. He's a bucket getter. He's been known to be one of the best scorers since his time in the NBA. So the Lakers need at least a poor man's Lou Williams, or someone with the potential of Lou Williams. Now, Dion Waiters isn't even close to Lou Williams' scoring potential. He's probably like a significantly poorer man's Lou Williams, at least in the eyes of the Lakers, whereas J.R. Smith is pretty much another spot-up shooter for the Lakers. I don't really think he'd be able to do the sort of thing where he comes in and takes over games and, catches fire and puts the team on his back and score when LeBron James isn't on the floor. J.R. Smith does his best work when LeBron James is on the floor, and we already have enough spot-up shooters to appease LeBron James. So if you ask me, the Lakers have a very simple, well, not so simple decision to make, and I'd like to get your opinions on it in the comment section down below. Should they bring in another spot-up shooter who is 34 years old, who hasn't played in the past 2 years, who has won championships with LeBron James and has familiarity with LeBron James, and wouldn't really be a locker room cancer, but is an extremely volatile personality in itself in J.R. Smith? Or should the Lakers opt for a player that could potentially come off of the bench, isn't necessarily known for his three-point scoring? For his entire career, Dion Waiters has shot 35% from 3. More recently, when he was with the Miami Heat, his first year he shot 40% from 3. His second year he shot 31% from 3. And then his third year he shot 38% from 3. Should they opt for a player that could create shots for himself and scoring opportunities for himself, that will probably be their iteration of a extremely poor man's Lou Williams in Dion Waiters. By the way, again, extremely poor man's Lou Williams in the sense that he's able to score off of the dribble. He could create his own shot. But if you ask me, the one flaw with Dion Waiters is, bro, he has been getting into trouble for some really weird stuff this past season. He was suspended back in October for conduct detrimental to the team. And then he was also suspended for the THC situation, the THC gummy situation. And then on December 12th, they suspended him again because he just completely decided to ditch a game to celebrate his birthday. Literally, he called in sick and celebrated his birthday instead. Does that seem like the type of person that could contribute to a championship culture? I don't know. It's a tough decision. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you're Rob Pelinka, who are you going to sign? Would you sign Dion Waiters or would you sign J.R. Smith? Guys, if you're done with this video, I've done a great analysis video on LeBron James and Zion Williamson's game last night. Go to the description down below. Check out my backup channel. It's up on there. I'm your boy, Theflightmike, and I'll catch you guys later.